Spencer Garcia, man, definitely got Spence, but he's gonna have to respect Garcia's power, man. We both were commentating that fight, and I just remember how happy Danny was when the fight was over. When the fight was over, Danny's like, "Yo, EJ took way too many shots. Let me hit him. You're gonna let Shawn hit you like that?" Man, only if Shawn could crack an egg, man, that fight wouldn't have been what it was if Shawn could crack an egg. Danny, he a 140 pounder, but he sit down like he King Kong, boy. His flat feet, his arms are slow, but you already know he all about that timing, man. So if EJ get caught up in that timing, we might see him get really rocked, man, because that ain't gonna be what he got hit by Shawn Porter and what he got busted up from Porter. That's not what Danny's bringing, bro. Danny's bringing some haymakers, but you just gotta offset his timing. You just gotta work your defense. EJ just gotta work that jab, and I think he can school him, man. I think he can make it an easy day, and also I believe he has what it takes to hurt Danny. We saw him drop Shawn Porter. I almost dropped Danny in round 1. So I believe that EJ can hurt him just as badly as he can be hurt in that fight. So I love that fight coming up. I'm definitely not going to miss that fight. I missed a lot of these PBC events. I don't really watch TV. I don't really be on that in the big screen. But I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to go to my boy's house. I know he loves to throw some fight parties. I ain't been invited. We ain't done a lot of stuff because of COVID. But I know people getting a little bit more lax. And he got a big living room anyways, man. So we're going to be good up in there, and I'm going to watch that fight. That's right. Pac versus Thurman 2, baby. That's my belt, man. I want my belt back. That's what real champions do. Give me my get back. Let's get right back, Thurman Spence, that's 2021, baby. I can't wait. I want that fight. I can't wait. The whole goal was to beat Pacquiao and then make it happen in 2020 to unify 2 undefeated champions, bringing together 3 world titles. At the end of the day, with or without my WBA, I still want that fight against Spence. That WBC title was my title. I gave that up to let Shawn have it, to let EJ have it. But nobody saw me. Nobody took it from me. They took my WBA. Pat got that, but nobody took the WBC. You know what I'm saying? So I still want that back too. That's going to be a great fight coming up. But he got to get past Garcia, man. He hasn't fought a lot of punchers in his career. Styles makes fights.
One of the guys you've been in the ring with, Danny Garcia, is fighting Errol Spence Jr. How do you see that fight going down, man?
Good fight. I think it's a very good fight. Look, Garcia will pick his shots. I just don't think Spence is going to let him get them shots in. Look, Spence is overall a great fighter. No disrespect to Danny Garcia, so is he. And the way I see the fight playing, it'll start slow, but it just depends on one thing. How is Errol Spence going to be after that car accident, after being at the ring for such a long time? Danny Garcia's kept himself ticking over. He's kept himself moving. And, really in his career, Danny Garcia's not really had that much punishment. So both going to come in that ring quite fresh. I just feel, it could be a 50-50 fight. You start to see, maybe if Spence starts putting his hands on him, we see Danny's got a great chin, takes a good shot. But maybe he finds that shot, when I was fighting, I was outboxing him and he found that shot. This is boxing where you can find that shot. And, one thing about Danny Garcia, he's got luck on his side as well. All the fights he's had, he's had that bit of luck on his side where he's got that shot in, boom. Now, maybe he feels that it's the best time to catch someone like Errol Spence, who's probably one of the best welterweights in the world, because he's had that car accident, he's been at the ring for such a long time. Is he going to be the same fighter? Is he going to have the same engine? Is he going to have the same power? Time will tell. But credit to both champions, because I just feel like, this is what boxing needed. Boxing needs amazing fights, big fights, and you have to take that risk sometimes. And I think Danny Garcia is taking that risk and going in the ring with Spence when there's a lot of fighters out there who are not going to want to fight him. But Danny Garcia was one of the guys to say, yeah, I'll take that fight. So respect that.
Do you think guys can possibly underestimate I know you fought him on short notice, But the other guys that have fought him, the Shawn Porters, the Keith Thurmans, do you think that they could possibly underestimate? You know, because sometimes you watch Danny fight and he looks, I don't want to say basic, but
No, don't get me wrong. Look, he's very basic. Don't get me wrong. He's a very basic fighter who has great timing, and he's very powerful, very strong. Knows how to put his punches together well. He's not like a 4, 5, 6 punchy fighter. He's more of a 1 and 2 or maybe 3 the most. You know, knows how to put the pressure on someone. He's big. He comes into a fight big. Comes heavy. Now, you know, with the IBF on the title on the line, maybe that 10-pound rule. I know now the WBC have the 10-pound rule as well, but is that going to make a difference? Who knows? But at the same time, Spence as well. I mean, Spence comes in big as well, man. I mean, I've been watching videos of him. He looks huge.
Yeah.
He looks like a middleweight, really. You know, walking around. So, you know, both fighters have the size, the strength, the power, and I just feel that it's gonna be an exciting fight. Look, it's gonna be one to watch because we've never really seen Danny Garcia get a beating, apart from when I was fighting him. You know what I mean? When I was catching with them shots, and I remember when Richie Schaefer came to me and said, "We honestly thought the fight was gonna get stopped within the round or two."
Wow.
And then he caught you with a shot, and you know, credit to him, man. But I've never seen anyone put a beating on Garcia, but with Spence's style, Spence puts beatings on fighters. The way to Kell Brook, he makes people retire, he hurts people, and maybe if he gets the game plan right and he puts a beating on Danny Garcia, you know, fight style, it can be, you can't have too many of them. With Errol Spence's power and speed and everything he has, and ring IQ, he can hurt people and he can literally retire them. And look what happened to Kell Brook. Kell Brook's literally retired. I mean, he's not the same fighter he ever was.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's the one thing about Spence. He's very powerful, very strong. But Danny Garcia has a lot left, I think, in the engine.
Yeah.
So I just feel this will be it'll be a good fight to see, man. It'll be like a game of chess, but at the same time, because, you know, I'm sure Spence is going to be quite wary of his power. But at the same time, he's still going to if he lets them shots go and leave himself open. We've not really seen Spence get caught with a good shot.
No.
So, you know, I think this is going to answer a lot of questions, really. And I think it is one of the toughest fights he's going to have.
Yeah.
Because really, you know, I mean, he fought a beat-up Kell Brook, who's already gone. But, you know, I think I can't remember his last fight. Who was his last fight?
Shawn Porter.
Shawn Porter. Okay, Shawn Porter, yeah. Now, Shawn has a very similar style to Danny, and that was a little bit of a close fight. It was
Yeah.
You know, so obviously I'd Shawn Porter style with a bit of power of Danny Garcia's in there. I think it'll be quite exciting to see what's going to happen in there.
What you think about the Spence-Danny Garcia fight?
Good fight.
Yeah.
Good fight. I think everybody is waiting to see. Waiting to see how Spence comes back looking.
Yeah.
Waiting to see how he's going to look at taking those shots.
Yeah.
I might just hope he doesn't try to come in there trying too hard to prove something.
Trying to prove that he's okay, right?
Trying to prove that he's okay. And try to, too early, try to press Danny out, because we know he's good for that.
Danny liked the timing.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Danny's great with that timing. Great with throwing these blind. You know, I'm looping hard shots. You know, we hit with something solid.
Yeah.
We, you know, like I said, I mean, shit. That's what the fight games. I mean, that's what the fight games about. You see if you can take it. But after, you know, sometimes after you're going through something like that, it's so traumatizing, bro. It's
Yeah.
you know, you're not gonna feel the real effects and know the real effects until you get somewhat in that type of environment. You know what I mean? The gym is different than the fight.
Yeah, yeah.
But like I said, you know, I think if Errol comes back and looks like Errol, that's gonna be set out.
Quickly touch on that Spence Garcia fight, not too long, but does Errol Spence, do you feel he makes adjustments in the ring, or is he, once he has a game plan, he's just kind of fighting one way?
I could see some adjustments in the fight that I had with him. I saw some adjustments in the fight that he had with Kell Brook. I have seen him make adjustments. He is a fighter who can make adjustments. I think in my fight, he was a little bit more one way than I've seen him in the past. And obviously,
Was that because of something you were...
because of me, you know? But he is a fighter who can make adjustments.
What do you think you were doing that didn't allow for him to adjust like he did in other fights?
You know, I think I was able to keep him off balance between the movement and the aggression. I think I had a very good combination that night of being aggressive and also using good boxing ability and counters and the coaching that was coming from my corner. I think it was able to keep him off balance and keep him guessing. I could see it in his eyes that he wasn't as comfortable as he tried to show that when he danced during some round. He wasn't as comfortable as he had tried to show right there, and he wasn't as comfortable as he's been in previous fights.
You think against Garcia, a guy who doesn't have the movement you have, he won't be as off balance. Maybe he can make those adjustments.
He won't be as off balance. Danny Garcia is a fighter who is definitely is a one trick pony. He's gonna come out the same way every round. Danny Garcia didn't make any adjustments in my fight. He was the way we expected him to be from the first round to the last round. And so, I think that when you consider that, you have to say that, okay, Errol Spence can make adjustments. Errol Spence can do different things in the ring. This is a fight that Errol Spence should win.
Do you think that boxing fans, because they'll look at the KO percentage, that they may underestimate Danny Garcia's power, or?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I don't know what the KO percentages are or whatever, but
it's not like a Tank Davis, you know.
In my personal opinion, I think two things are overestimated by Danny Garcia. People talk about his timing, great timing, but if you're doing the right things, you can do what needs to be done to keep him off balance and not allow him to catch that rhythm and that timing. I was able to do that. And then the other thing too, I think, is the power. I think that we've seen him do some damage to some guys.
Yeah.
Really, lean some guys.
One punch KOs.
But again, if you're taking the distance away, or if you're smothering him, or if you're doing the right things, you take the pop off of the punch. And I just don't think that he has as much steam as people have given him credit for.
The Spence fight versus Garcia, that will be coming up the 5th, I believe, December 5th.
Yeah.
And no, I don't know what time. What time, Rainbow? What channel? But I do know the date, December 5th. So is that a fight that you're going to watch?
I'm gonna be there.
Oh, okay. So you're going to be watching it live in
I
action.
got Josito fighting that night.
Good stuff. Oh, yeah.
He's fighting that night, so I'll be there for sure.
In the bubble, right? That's the bubble.
I don't know how they're gonna have it, but I'm gonna be there.
Awesome. No, that's good. That's very good. I know we've talked about this, but of course, leading up, we've seen more of Spence out there. And I know you said that the only thing that you felt that could possibly make him feel a little funny was, one, he's been out of the ring for quite a bit now. And then two, what happened?
Yeah. I think he's healed. It's been a long time. It's been over a year now. I think he should be completely healed by now, but we still gotta wait and see.
Gotcha.
Never know. That's the only thing that's in everyone's mind.
But Danny Garcia, he's not somebody that you could, he's not no walkthrough.
No,
he's a tough opponent.
Former world champ, he's hungry, he's strong, very dangerous. So it's not an easy fight. I think he's gonna have a couple, moments there where he's gonna be successful. I'm talking with Danny. Danny will be successful a few rounds. But I still feel that Spence is a better boxer overall, and that's why I think Spence would win.
If you don't mind me asking, I know this is kind of going a little bit back in time, but what were your thoughts with Porter versus Spence? Because I know a lot of people just, I feel like, I feel like Porter gets kind of the short end of the stick a little bit, but I felt...
With Danny?
Yeah, no.
He beat Danny.
No, not with Danny.
What are you talking about?
Wait,
Got the short end of the stick with who?
didn't he fight Spence?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But he didn't. What do you
No.
mean short end? He lost.
He lost, I know, but I felt he was doing pretty damn
He
good.
did very
He was
well.
doing exceptionally well. And that's what I mean. I feel like sometimes people, I feel like there's certain fighters out there that for some odd reason, I guess they don't necessarily get their respect. I don't know. For me, that's me as a
champion
viewer.
twice.
Yes.
He's two-time welterweight champ and fought some really good fighters and good fights. He's earned my respect. If fans don't give him the respect, fans, you know, I don't know, they just maybe don't like him, or maybe they just
And
don't like
sometimes
his
that can
style.
happen,
I don't
yeah.
know. I mean, they're just not fans of him. But on paper, he's fought some really good fighters. He's beaten some of the top fighters there in the division already, and he's still there. He's still active. He still has, I mean...
Because I know he wants the rematch with Spence, and I know he...
So.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I meant by that. You know,
Yeah.
like, it just didn't seem...
Maybe he just doesn't have as much fans.
Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, that's what it is.
But for me, watching just as a fan of boxing, I thought he did exceptionally well. And although, of course, I'm friends with you, I can also say that I think Spence is a badass. You know what I mean? Spence is a great athlete as well. So, but I thought Porter did really well. Like, I was like, oh shit, homie.
He did much better than people expected.
Exactly. And I think
I always said he was going to be a good fight for him.
And I think that's what I meant by referencing towards the short end of the stick. Like, people just kind of like, count him out. There you go. And they're like, oh, it's Porter.
Yeah, but no, he's tough.
But you're saying right here, you're like, no. Because for you as a boxer, you're like, I don't look at him like that. You look at him as like a top athlete.
He is.
Awesome. Okay, that was it. All right. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you. And between Danny Garcia and Spence,
Let's go. We gotta go.
who 12 rounds is gonna go the distance?
12 rounds.
Spence.
Yep.
Can you tell us your thoughts on the matchup between Errol Spence and Danny Garcia? I know a fight that you are going to be watching quite well on November 21st live on pay-per-view. ¿Qué piensas con la pelea con Errol Spence y Danny Garcia?
No, es una gran pelea. Pienso dos grandes peleadores, Spence y Danny. Tremendo peleador de los dos. Pienso que van a ser una de las mejores peleas del año. Y pienso una gran pelea para el boxeo. No tengo favorito.
Said I don't have a favorite in the fight. I think it's going to be one of the best fights of the year. Both guys are great fighters and great champions, and I expect something very special out of that fight. But no, I don't. I'm not leaning either way, but I do know it is going to be a great fight.
And speaking of Philly dudes, Danny Garcia is going up against Errol Spence. How you see that fight going?
I see Danny knockout.
Yeah?
Danny knockout. I think a little too much to get on.
He had that H1. He had
fight
that
off the accident like that.
I ain't let it ride.
You don't really know how your body gonna react. Like, and I understand all you chasing greatness, and if you pull it off, hey, that's more for him, and congratulations. But I just think take his time a little more.
You feel like they rushing him along, or do you feel like it's him rushing?
I think that's his decision. I think that's his decision. But I like that in a fight. That's good. That's what a fighter supposed to do.
Now, what is like? You had a layoff. What does it feel like when you first get them first couple rounds of sparring?
You be rusty. Like when you take a layoff, especially a long one, like it don't come back the same right away. I don't care who you is, unless you was in the gym. And I was training outside, sparring in front of my house on house arrest. I actually got footage too and everything. But it just don't come back the same right away. It takes time. And then like gain weight because you ain't in the gym. You gotta get that weight down. It just takes time. You gotta stay consistent for it to click. And once it click, alright, then you back rolling.
Have you ever sparred Danny or Spence?
I never sparred Spence. I sparred Danny. I got called to spar Spence, I think, once, but I ain't go.
Okay. How did the sparring go with Danny?
I was good with it.
Everybody keeps talking about that. Spence is the bigger puncher.
I don't think so. I don't listen. I'm gonna explain this. You fought Mikey Garcia. He's 35. I don't care if you wasn't trying to knock him out. You threw over 1,000 punches. And then he fight Mikey Garcia, he gonna knock him the fuck out. There's a difference in the punch. That's a real. Danny is a real puncher at 47. I think Earl got respectable power and he punched great to the body. He goes to the body probably more than anybody in the weight class, probably besides me.
Now, did you spar Danny at 140 or when he's at 147?
47.
47?
I sparred him, I think, last year.
Could you really feel the power?
Yeah,
I mean, I got a good chin, but I move my head. I ain't get hit that much. Like, it was great work. Like, we both it was good work.
Now, Spence fought Porter before this. And I heard Keith Thurman say that Danny hits harder than Porter. You sparred both.
Yeah, Danny
so who?
harder than Porter. Danny harder than Porter. I got it. He did.
You co-sign that?
Yeah, I co-sign that. Like Danny got it's a different type of punch. It's like a thud, like poof, and it's gonna make you oh shit. Like, and that's why I think Errol should have took his time on that one. But you try to be great. Hey, that's what you. I mean, be great. You gotta do things right there. Take risks.
We saw Porter have success against Errol. Who would you say is a better style against the type of fighter Spence is?
Danny. Like, Porter really, once he get going, he's going. It's hard to slow down. He gonna come forward, and that's his best asset, really. Like, he's coming forward because he's in great shape, and he's gonna rumble you nonstop. Like, his will, and like, that's Porter's, like, one of his, and he can box. You know what I mean? He ain't just a banger. I mean, he can box really, but I just think Danny an all-around better fighter, even though he lost to him. I just feel that Danny an all-around better fighter. He just had a bad night that night.
You know, I gotta ask you about Errol Spence.
Oh yeah, that's my brother, man. That's my brother.
What do you think of that fight with Danny Garcia that's coming in November?
Man, if people check the history, man, and go back in dates, I said this stuff years ago. I said Shawn Porter was gonna be his toughest fight. I said he was gonna beat Kell Brook. I said he was gonna beat all the guys that he's beat. Danny Garcia, he's gonna beat you too. Keith Thurman, I think he's gonna beat him too. The tables turn, man, and it's his time, man. He just gotta take advantage of it.
Do you think it's gonna be a competitive fight, though?
I mean, all fights is a world championship level, man. All fights are gonna be competitive, but do I think Errol gonna win? Yeah, I think he's gonna show a different side.
I guess I meant as competitive. Well, not as competitive as the Porter fight, you think, though?
No, Shawn Porter was his toughest fight at welterweight, and I state that again. That was going to be his toughest fight at welterweight.
Do you think it'll be? Well, do you think he'll stop Danny at the end, or he'll?
Honestly, I don't know. I'm gonna see how he looks after the accident, but I do think he still wins because I know Errol is Errol.
Do you think that accident? Well, none of us will know, but do you imagine that it didn't affect him, or?
From what I know, it didn't, man. I mean, for the most part, he's mentally strong. He's physically healthy and physically strong. So, you know, my boy back. DJ back.
Do you think that he'll look to be like the guy he was against Kell Brook and try to walk Danny down, or you think he might switch up and box more this fight?
I don't know, man. Whatever he do, I know he's gonna win.
Right.
He got my full support, always.
Right. You know,
hand down.
Are you gonna be working with him for this fight, maybe?
It's funny because I hit him up. I was like, I'm gonna come down there. I'm gonna spar you at least a weekend and then come back. But yeah, I'll probably go down there a weekend or so and just box with him just for old times and go in there, just stay in shape and, like I said, stay boxing and go have fun, man.
When you worked with Errol, was his power the best you ever felt for 147 pounder?
Not even for 147 pounder. He hit harder than a lot of the big guys that I spar. I'd rather spar big guys than the smaller guys. The smaller guys always seem to hit hard. The bigger guys, they don't hit hard.
And he throws a lot of punches too, because Danny,
he punching, bro. He punching and he consistent.
Right.
And definitely a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah. I mean, it's an exciting matchup, though, right? Stylistically.
Stylistically, yes. Do I give Danny a chance? Yes. I'm not saying like EJ's just gonna run him over. Do I give him a chance? Yes. He's on the championship level.
Well, that left hook, right? Like that's
not even a left hook. Danny can box, man. He can box whenever he boxes. But his styles make fights. And he don't know what style EJ is going to present to him. EJ could adjust. He can do both. He can box. He can bang. He can walk you down. He can do all of it. And Danny, for the most part, he ain't walking nothing down. He just can box. So
he'll stand his ground.
He'll stand his ground and try to go toe-to-toe and slug. But at the end of the day, slugging, EJ not going to slug with him. What you going to do if somebody starts slugging and you can do the opposite in boxing?
Right.
So he got more tools in his toolbox.
Well, that's kind of
what Danny has. That's what I feel, honestly.
Right. That's what I was getting at earlier when I was talking about, do you think he's going to walk him down? Because it would seem like that's kind of Danny's best chance, is if Errol just tries to do what he did with Kell Brook and just, you know what I mean?
His best chance.
Bulldoze him, like he said.
Yeah,
he said bulldoze him. Yeah.
So his best chance is trying to box and catch him with a left hook. But if his left hook doesn't do nothing, then what else do he have? He has nothing, no chance but the box. He has to maintain boxing. So if he can't, if he starts boxing and EJ outboxes him, forgetting he was an Olympian, and not saying like that means more than what Danny could do, but it's just stating obvious. But if he boxes and Errol makes adjustments and outbox him, then what can Danny present to the table to bring? What can he do? But if Danny boxes and EJ walks him down and takes his left hook away, the ball in his court. It's just being logical, man. It's not favoritism. I am biased towards Errol, but it's reality.
Well, you're talking boxing. Like you're not just
as a fan.
Yeah.
That I know you're going to have your eye on with Errol Spence and Danny Garcia. You have been in the ring with both. Who do you think has the advantage of that fight? And do you think that right now, I believe Errol is a favorite over Danny? Do you think that the odds are justified?
Yeah, I think that rightfully so. He's the favorite. I think, to this point, he's done basically everything right inside of the ring to become and maintain being a world champion. He's got some skills and some tools in his chest that works. Excuse me, that works very well for him. He's more active than Danny Garcia, and he sets guys up. Danny sets guys up as well, but Danny isn't quite as active as Errol Spence is. I think that Danny needs to come in, be active from the GO, make it be known that he's in the ring to win the fight, and he can't allow Errol Spence to get comfortable. All of us are coming off of this COVID. All of us are coming off of extremely long layoffs. But not only that, Errol Spence is coming off of an injury where he had to take time away from training and take time away from the ring just simply to heal. So I think he's got some added baggage coming into the ring in terms of the layoff and rust. And so I think that Danny Garcia needs to come in there and take advantage of that. If I had to pick a winner, I think it's going to be Errol Spence. But there's no telling, what Errol Spence we're going to get in the ring. He is some time away from that accident now, and it will be more than a year once the fight takes place. But there's no telling, what's going to happen until he gets in the ring and actually starts moving. So I think if Danny Garcia comes in the ring with that blood boiling, it could be a great night for him. But I do anticipate this being a fight that Errol Spence will win.